Okay, what I'd like to show you here is a nice little function that's available on Thrive Architect and Thrive Leads, um, and it works very nicely in the Bulletproof Funnel Framework, whereby once someone is subscribed, um, they're getting sent emails, and we're asking people to download PDFs. So what would normally happen is that we go to the blog post here, click on the link there to download it, and then you would get a form like this. So that's fine, except that once someone's already subscribed, we don't really need them to keep giving us their email address, and they probably don't want to keep doing that. It's probably quite annoying. So with this alternate form function, you create your normal form like this. That's the default state, but then we have this option for the already subscribed state. So what I've done is I've created this here, which means that this is what shows up to someone who's already subscribed. All right, so they can just basically download the PDF without having to enter their email address again. So this is how I do it basically. It takes a bit of setting up, but once you've got a process in place, it's not too difficult to do, but it can be a little bit time consuming. As you can see here, I'm sort of batch processing things here. I'm up to 1.4.1. And I'm using this Airtable database here to basically guide me, because there's quite a lot to check and test. All right, so we're going to start with let's have a look. We create a name there, so we just change that because the next one we do is 1.5.1. Okay. This is the name of the Thrive Leads form. So we set it up in Thrive Leads. So here we are in Thrive Leads. You go to Thrive Dashboard, Thrive Leads, like that. Just pretend I just did that. Okay, so here's the lead group there that I've already set up. Okay, want to check that these displays are on. Okay, and then we go to edit. Okay, I want to set this up here. I'm just going to rename it because I'm updating this, so that's just basically the month and the year. So I'll take that. What you do as you go along, you need to record everything because it's quite easy to get confused of where you're up to. So that's the name of the form, so we've got that recorded there. So the next thing we want is the trigger ID. Okay, so for the trigger ID we go onto this trigger displays on click. All right, so there it is. I've already put it in there. So that's the convention FFW 151 form trigger. This, it remains the same for all this class, so that doesn't change. So just copy that, and I'll add that in there. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do is create the actual altered state link. So they call this a smart link. We don't want to edit designer. Okay, so we're in the light box, we're in the form, we go to advanced features, smart links. Okay, so it's a post. Now what I found when I do this is that it doesn't work very well in terms of it doesn't show up everything I want it to see. I'm not sure if that's correct. So what I do instead is select the custom URL. So it's that one there. I'll copy that, add that there, click update. Okay, so we only want it to target certain lead groups. Now it would be handy to, if it targets all forms on the site, that means that all forms would show the alternate state, but you might not have an alternate state for every form. And also I've got payment forms here, and they're definitely not relevant, so that's why I select that one. I'm going to select all these lead groups because they're all basically part of the same sequence and framework. It's all level 1 there, and I'll also click that basic subscribe one there. So whenever anyone clicks any of these lead groups, then they should see the alternate state form. So we don't want to hide the forms here, we want to display the already subscribed state of the form. So note that there. If the already subscribed state doesn't exist for every given form, then nothing will be shown. So that's why we don't select we want to target all forms, as well as the payment forms issue. We don't want the alternate form on a payment form. And a payment form, how's that different? It's basically, that's when you're actually purchasing something, or someone is purchasing something. How long should this behavior last for? For as long as possible. And there's the link there. So we just copy that link there and paste that into there. Oops. So the next thing we want to do is we need to add the trigger to the post page. So that's the trigger there. So we're looking for the links basically on here. So let's preview it so you can see where the links actually are. Okay, so there's one there. So it's just before that step 1. Download the free checklist there. So you click on that, see that's what actually happens. That's the old form there. That's the current link that I've got set up there. What I'm going to do is replace that. So I've just got this set up at the moment. It's on a Trello card. Okay, so that's the basic code there. So we were close there though. So there is the old link. Okay, so we'll paste the new one in there. There's the text. It's very similar. Paste that there. That needs to change because we're now on 1.5.1. Okay, I'm just going to put an X on there so we can see the difference between this one and this one. Update that. So we're looking for the links, the new one just put in. So that is, there's the new one. But an error there, doesn't matter, it should be okay. So that's the old one, that's the new one. And there you go. So you can see that's the alternate one. There's the old one. Okay, so this one is replacing that one. So we're going to go back now, and I'm going to correct that, of course, and then delete that. So delete that. Just need to correct that. Get rid of that X. So there it is there. Yeah, so we know that that's working. So then just repeat that process for any other of those links that will be here. There's another one there. There's another one there. So with the button, it's slightly different. Okay, so this is the code for the button, which is different from a normal link. Yeah, that's it there, I think. Okay, so again, paste the new code there. Copy the appropriate text there. Okay, ensure this is changed. So we're now on 1.5.1. Does that all look okay? I think so. Update it. So go down to the button down here, and there you go. So what I'll do then is obviously just delete that one, obviously take out those X's there. So that's the old one. You've got the form there, and the new one. Da-da. So that's that. Okay, so having checked that these new alternate state forms are all working okay on the blog, we need to check that the original forms work, because we want to ensure that anyone who comes to the blog post that is not subscribed is actually presented with a form to subscribe. So straightforward enough to check, except for the fact that once those alternate state forms have been triggered in your browser, there's probably cookies in there, which means that it will keep on, when we're testing, it'll keep on presenting those alternate state forms, so you can't tell. So simplest way around this, rather than clearing out all your cookies and closing down the browser every time, is just to have a new browser. Not a different browser window as part of the same browser, but a different browser. So here I'm using Safari, whereas before I was using Chrome. Alright, so what you want to do here, because remember we're checking for the original default state form is working, so we paste in there the original URL, not the alternate smart link. Alright, so it's simply a case of scrolling down, looking for the links. Okay, so there we go. So that is the form that we wanted to see. There's another one up here somewhere. Yeah, there. Yep, so that's all working fine, so that's good. Check that off, so the triggers have been out to the post and they're tested. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take these smart links and we want to put them into the emails. So we'll do that now. So this is the automation that sends all these emails. Go to view emails. The one we want is 1.5.1. Go to edit there. Yeah, sorry again for the noise of the fan. So we're just going to go through this now, and again we're just looking for the links, and we're going to change the links. So that's different one, so it's this one here. Okay, so we'll go to the link there. That's not right. Let's have a look. Alright, so there you can see it's just got the normal ordinary link. So when we go to our smart link here and select it, oops. Copy that, and I'll replace it with that. Alright, so we'll retain this tag, which basically says that we've visited, that someone has visited the blog. Okay, and then we just repeat that for each one, or each appropriate link on there. So if this comes up every time, then you know that the link is correct. So and then one there. So just carry on and yeah, complete all those basically. Okay, so there's one other thing in Active Campaign that I want to do. Just quickly show you that. Okay, so right, so this is a separate automation, and basically this is called the PDF download confirm and tag. So what happens when you complete a form is that a tag is added, in this case FFW 1.5.1, and that's an important tag because every time there's many automations where when that tag is present, it tells the automation, you know, not to send the 1.5.1 email. So if someone has downloaded the 1.5.1 PDF, they won't get an email because that tags, they won't get an email asking them to, you know, download that email or something that's relevant to that specific subject matter. because they already have it. All right, so that's what normally happens when you complete the form. That tag is added. However, when we've got these alternate forms, then because they're not completing the form, that doesn't happen. So instead, I've set up this automation, and all we're doing here is checking that this is present for 1.5.1 on this particular automation. All right, so what happens here is when someone visits the download URL, then we add a tag to say they visited the PDF download, and there is the important tag which gets added there. So all I'm doing here is just checking that that's present. So we can tick that off, or check that off, as our American friends say. Okay, they read the blog post, they decide they're going to download the checklist, click on it. Instead of getting a form that asks them to give them their email address again, they get this download pop-up. Click on that. Okay, so then we visit the download page. That is registered on this that is registered on this automation, and the tag 1.5.1 is added, which means they won't get sent any more emails or references in relation to 1.5.1 because they already have it. So that's it. So that's the Thrive Architect and Thrive Leads. I say Thrive Architect and Thrive Leads because you can buy Thrive, you can have Thrive Leads separate from Thrive Architect, but if you purchase Thrive Architect, you also get Thrive Leads. Yeah, it's the alternate state form along with the Smart Links function, and it's specifically useful as in the Bulletproof Funnel Framework when we're looking to get people to download a number of PDFs. So if you have lots of lead magnets on your website and you're sending emails to get people to download those lead magnets, then this is a great way to do it because they don't have to keep putting in their email address, and that might be something that annoys people. It might be something that puts people off, and it might be something that when they get to it, they say, stuff this, I'm not doing this. So it's a bit of work, a lot of checking to do. That this whole process, it can take anywhere from sort of half an hour to an hour, but the more you do it, the quicker you can do it. And if you've got a process set up like I have here, which I don't have available to you right now, but you could still follow through from this email and make your own, but I will do that. I will make this process available at some point. It's on the to-do list. All right, cheers.